Yo, what's up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we've got some big news because Pokemon will finally be revealed for the Nintendo Switch, and we're not talking about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We're talking about a brand new Pokemon, Gen 8 it seems, according to the rumors, but now we have confirmation of a Pokemon Nintendo Direct set for February 27th for those who don't know. That is tomorrow as of the time that I'm recording this video. So new Pokemon game news will be incoming. Nintendo will host a 7-minute Pokemon focused Nintendo Direct broadcast on February 27th at 6 a.m. PT. RIP to my sleep schedule, and 9 a.m. ET, the company has announced. While specific contents were not announced, it is expected Nintendo will share information on its 2019 due core Pokemon RPG developed by Game Freak. You guys can check out the links in the description below when it comes to the direct feed of those broadcasts. However, I will be broadcasting this on my channel right here, and we will have a pre-stream as well to get hype and talk about what's going on and all of that. So that'll probably be going down at 5 a.m. PT, so that is 8 a.m. Eastern time, and you guys can convert it out if you live in Europe or the Viking Nation or other places. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good time for you guys, and I would just guess, just going off of this time, they want everybody to be able to watch this, because by putting it at 6 a.m., that gives Europe ample time to kind of watch it if they're at work at the time or coming home from work. That gives Japan, it gives Australia, pretty much the whole world, because of how early it is here in the West Coast. It gives everybody somewhat of an opportunity to watch it, really, unless you're like the hardcore 9 to 5 type of dude. If you're driving to work, you're probably going to miss it, but most people are going to be able to watch it. And yeah, I guess it's pretty cool that you'll be able to see it if you're on the West Coast here before you go to work, well before most people go to work for most regular jobs at 9 a.m. So there is that. Now let's talk a little bit more about some different things. I don't want to keep this too long because we're going to have a PE live as well, and of course we'll have the pre-stream to talk about all sorts of stuff, but I want to talk a little bit about moving on from the 3DS and then some other things, what I think they're going to do in this game. So this is the first games that are not going to be on a 100% dedicated portable in the main line of games. Now, we've had mainline Pokemon RPGs or games that play like the mainline ones on the GameCube. We've had them on home consoles before, but this will be the first true hybrid one, right? This is going to be very special. So moving on from the Nintendo 3DS, a system that is nowhere near as powerful as the Nintendo Switch is a big deal. This is the first mainline core RPG, not Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, once again, which was built off of the success of Pokemon Go, not something like that, but the actual normal regular main line of games, the first one on an HD system. So this is going to be really big, and that's the reason why they want to do a Pokemon Direct. They want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to see it in the same current day. That's why it's so early, like I talked about here. So moving on from the 3DS, I know is a big deal for Game Freak, because Game Freak is one of those companies, they're definitely a tried and true type of company. They like to go with what works, and if they feel that there's too much risk or there's something that's not associated with what they want to do, they're probably not going to go into that realm. For example, the Wii U didn't really make anything for that system at all, like no mainline games or anything like that, or any Pokemon Go type of stuff even. They just have like Pokemon Rumble, like not even a mystery dungeon for that system. So they want to make sure that they make calculated decisions. So moving on from the 3DS was obviously like a big deal for them, but the president of the company didn't even believe in the Nintendo Switch when he heard of the concept, even though it was a dedicated portable in addition to being a home console, a true hybrid which could make Pokemon shine. He didn't even believe in that, which kind of goes to show you the type of atmosphere, or at least the attitude that he can have, considering that they make games for portable devices and that's where they've had their success, and he didn't think it was going to be a big success. So it was interesting in that, right? Now let's talk about gameplay, what we want to see here. I just want to see a solid ATB. And I know this is probably going to make some people upset, and I get that. People want the turn-based where you can take 10 years to pick something, but I would love to see an ATB gauge kind of put in there. And what I mean by that is active time battle. If you've played Chrono Trigger, you don't have all day to make a move. Now you can set that on Chrono Trigger, and that's probably would be best. Do you want to play it where it's set to where the Pokemon will just wait, or do you want to play it with the active time battle? Chrono Trigger was one of the first games ever that you pick between playing as an active time battle or just regular traditional turn based. And I would love to see Pokemon implement that to speed up battles and also to make the difficulty a little bit harder. If you can take all day to make a decision, that makes things a lot easier. However, if there's an active time battle going, you're not going to want to sit there and let the Pokemon rack up different ones. So I think active time battle would be nice if they could implement it in some way, or at least just a timer for you to make your decision before the other person can interrupt your attack. So it doesn't have to be like a complete active time battle, because then you can have overlapping moves because of the speed of the Pokemon. So you don't want to do it exactly like how Chrono Trigger had it or other games, but it would be nice if they just said, hey, you can't take 10 years to make a move, you know? So that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, when it comes to other gameplay aspects, obviously with the locations and the vistas and all that tying into how the game is, it would be great if there was some expanded online features and kind of what they do with the gameplay integration in there, having to be able to go to places so you can trade easy, all of the features and stuff with the Pokemon gameplay. I would love to see that kind of come back in. And gameplay is interesting because it's a turn-based RPG, right? So since it's a turn-based RPG, it's like, what more can you do? Really, it's all about how it looks and kind of like how you set up the bosses and how you set up with the gym leaders and stuff like that. So for me, I'm just kind of like a wait and see on that. I just want the classic turn-based gameplay with some nice wrinkles in there with the ATB, and I'll be happy. But I don't know in terms of like everything else when it comes to like the graphics and all that, which we'll talk about in just a bit. That's where a lot of people are kind of looking at this game and saying it better do this, because the gameplay is just like press the A button, right? You move around, press the A button so your Pokemon can do a move. So gameplay is not like it's like an action game or something like that. So let's talk a little bit about the graphics in the game, and will this game look better than Yokai Watch? I think that's what a lot of people have been asking, because Yokai Watch 4 looks absolutely incredible. The locations look great. The game is shaping up really well, and you can switch between any of the yokai that you have in your party and also the human as well on the fly. So it's looking very good, very impressive. Looks like a nice evolution, a true evolution from what they did with Yokai Watch 2 and Yokai Watch 3. Those games don't look anything like it when it comes to the battle system. So I'm not expecting it to be like battle system wise that much of a revolution or innovation from what they've done. Yokai Watch is doing something completely different, but graphics wise, I definitely think that they should be able to match Yokai Watch or even do better, since they're going to have a little bit more time to make this game, or at least it's coming out later than Yokai Watch. I know Yokai Watch is set for like a spring type of release date, and it was supposed to come out last year. It actually got delayed. So I don't know who started on which game first. Yokai Watch could have had more development time, but either way, it seems like they were around the same time of development. So I don't think Game Freak has any excuse, I would guess, to have graphics that look considerably worse than Yokai Watch. But Yokai Watch 4, for as good as it looks, I think people are really comparing it to how it looked on the 3DS, and that's the biggest thing here. So it's like, wow, this game looks so much better. But in terms of just regular games, okay, it's cool, it looks good, you know, it has a nice polished and clean look to it, but it's not anything absolutely nuts or anything like that that we haven't seen before graphics wise. So I think Pokemon can look just as good as Yokai Watch. So we'll have to wait and see there. I'm hoping Game Freak does that, and I think that they will, since they're having this Pokemon Direct. They're obviously setting it up to be somewhat big, right? So I think that they're going to come in at least looking as good as Yokai Watch, but you don't know until you know. Or maybe it even looks a lot better. Some people are saying they're not expecting Breath of the Wild, or put your expectations low because of Game Freak and what they've done before. And really, I think this really comes from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and people are looking at that game and saying, well, this is their first HD title and this wasn't very impressive. But that game falls in the style of Pokemon Go, which is a very simple and simplistic design. So this is a bit different than a game like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee or Pokemon Go. This is the normal core mainline RPG that we're used to. So if you look at what they've done on the Nintendo 3DS, 3DS, they actually improved the graphics quite a bit when I didn't think that they would. If you look at like from the DS to the Nintendo 3DS, it was a nice jump. But then if you look at from like Pokemon X and Y to Pokemon Sun and Moon, that was actually quite a big jump considering it was on the same system and not using the new Nintendo 3DS, using just the regular base 3DS. I think they did a good job of improving the graphics on the same system. So I would guess that they're going to do a good job here as well. Now, how successful will this game be? People have talked about this, and it's interesting because I don't think a lot of people expected Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to sell 10 million units in about a month and a half or so. Nintendo gave us their sales, and it was just explosive for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. 10 million units in that short amount of time. So that was last year in November and December. The Nintendo Switch has continued to sell well because of all the games that's out on the system. This game is probably going to come out at the end of the year, so you're going to have all the sales from all the big games coming. For example, like Luigi's Mansion, also Super Mario Maker, Daemon X Machina, you have Marvel. There's just all sorts of games coming out this summer for the Nintendo Switch that are going to be big for the system. So I think it's interesting to see, or at least just try to guess what it's going to do. If Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which is an average to good game by Metacritic standards and what people are thinking, around 80 something average, I'm thinking that this game's going to do better since it's more of a traditional in the line of what they've done before. So I'm guessing it's going to have anywhere between like an 85 to 90 average, something like what they've had before with Pokemon X and Y or Sun and Moon or games like that. So if it has that and it's going to have the increased install base from Animal Crossing, then I think that this game can easily double up on what Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee did, and maybe even a little bit more. So maybe double up, so 2.5 or something like that. I definitely think it can do so considering the install base and considering that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee had so much controversy attached to it. And this game, of course, is going to have some stuff. There's going to be people that don't like it no matter what or say whatever it is, but I think overall it's going to resonate with more Pokemon fans and the regular core install base there. So I'm thinking that this game is going to do at least 20 million in the same time frame that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee did, and that's going to be huge for the Pokemon company. Obviously, they're looking for that big payday when it comes to Pokemon Gen 8 or a new Pokemon. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. People are already buzzing online with all sorts of predictions and what they think is going to be happening. There were some rumors about Pokemon King and Queen. That's going to be the name. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. There's been all sorts of stuff going on, but the rumors were right. When it comes to the Pokemon Direct being on Wednesday, we talked about that on the channel here, Pokemon Info Soon, and they were exactly right about that. They have the whole Pokemon Day festivities going on, new Detective Pikachu stuff, so it's going to be fun. And once again, guys, I will be live streaming at 6 a.m. That's when it actually starts, but I will be live streaming starting at 5 a.m. Hopefully, if I can wake up. That is early for me. So what do you guys think about all this different Pokemon news? What are your thoughts on what you think is going to happen? What are the gameplay improvements and stuff that you want to see? Locations, vistas, all of that stuff. You guys know I'm hyped for this, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.